So let's talk about the importance of having a feedback loop with your customers. Everybody knows they can't run a perfect business and they can't make every customer happy at every moment, but if you have processes in place to understand how customers are feeling and how to get them turned around, then you've got a much better chance of retaining your loyalty. So where are you going to capture the customer's experience? As John has described, sometimes it happens in the moment. Sometimes you get that immediate feedback. Sometimes a customer will call a call center or email support, and sometimes they'll just walk out the door and go straight to social media. So it's important to address these moments as soon as you can, the minute they come in. And this is especially true for online reviews. Those things are in the public eye, and the public needs to see you responding appropriately. So I'm betting that most of you have processes in place for the other situations, but with online reviews, a lot of times franchise systems want some coaching. So with positive online reviews, it's always a good idea to encourage franchisees to comment on them and express appreciation, because even though the review was positive and maybe less urgent from a business standpoint, it says something to the happy customer when you've acknowledged what they've done for you and that you appreciate the gesture. So always a great idea to respond to those reviews. Now, if a franchisee gets a negative online review, though, the best thing to do is encourage them to take the conversation offline. You should let them know never to get into a battle with a customer online. It will invariably reflect badly on the business. But take the conversation offline and ask the customer to change their rating when the issue is resolved. So just a couple of ideas there for when you get that immediate feedback. Now, we've also talked about Net Promoter feedback requests, and those can be triggered immediately after a transaction with a customer, and then periodically at important points along the customer journey. Or having an NPS system can also allow you to just create some standard process and guidelines for following up with your customers. So that's going to allow more of that practice, steady follow-up. Some Net Promoter systems even allow you to set up automated text alerts. So when a detractor comment comes in, the manager or the employee of the franchise is going to get notified immediately, and then they can follow up within a certain window that's recommended by the brand. We actually have one customer that's an automotive service brand that requires their shop managers to have automated text alerts turned on, and this brand requires that the management team follow up with unhappy customers within 10 minutes. That's pretty amazing, and it may not be possible for your brand, but it is a great way to communicate that you care about the customer's experience and that you want to make things right. And then finally, you'll want to pay attention to that quieter feedback that may not be detectable until sometime later, where customers just don't come back. Sometimes unhappy customers are just going to vote with their feet. And I think we've all had this experience, dining in a restaurant, and maybe the food was terrible or maybe the service was terrible, and the waiter comes over and says, "How was everything?" And we say, "Oh, it was fine." And then we just don't go back. And that type of feedback you're going to uncover with your retention metrics. When customers vote with their feet, closing the loop in that case may look like a win-back strategy. So it's always best to have processes in place to detect that you're having issues before you start seeing disappointing numbers on your financials. But this type of closed-loop process is going to help you engage customers in conversations that can improve your relationship and increase the odds that they're going to stay loyal to the brand. But the most important thing in the whole process is going to be to make sure that your customers have a way to talk to you when they're not happy, so they're not frustrated and going out to social media.